are going to dive into the 8 gates with the Heaven Trigram as their foundation. You can see here on the bottom left of the screen, we have the changing lines. So if you look, then these 3
Oh my God,
bottom
thank you,
lines,
Moni.
yeah, these 3, you're welcome. These 3 bottom lines are all solid yang, which represents heaven as the trigram. It's the 3 solid yang lines. And so these 3 bottom ones stay the same, but these top ones are shifting around. So, the I Ching and the changing lines, these are the changing lines of the heaven trigram and the gates that we are now going to go through.
So this is a view of heaven, everybody. The
Yeah.
changing lines.
Yeah, the creative force of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in booking a reading with either Danny or myself, check out the QR code right above me, or I also have it down in the description box below. And you can use code AWAKEN to save 10%. If you want to do a reading with either of us and talk about your chart and some really fun stuff, we can totally do that.
We can't wait. I can't wait to read for people. You're going to love this. So whenever you
Yeah.
feel like booking, please do.
And also, if you're interested in donating to the show and help support us, then you can hit that QR code above me. We also have the code down in the description box below. So if you've been getting something out of it and you got a few bucks that you want to throw at us, that would really help support our channel, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, super appreciated, everybody. And the show pours out all of our love right onto you. So anything you can do is very much appreciated.
Thank you to everyone who's watching, liking, subscribing, hanging out, asking us questions, doing the thing, helping us grow. We just got to 1,000 subscribers today, so that was the big excitement. So
No
thank you
way.
for
That's right. I saw that. I saw we
joining.
made
So
1,000.
we made it. So thank you to everyone for helping us get there. It was really exciting, and it was our goal for the year, and we made it in the year. So thank
We
you
made it in
very
the
much.
year before October ended. Like we're sliding into home plate right in the nick of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So starting off, we're going to explain the Heaven Trigram. Heaven is superhuman cosmic law. This is creativity in pure form, determining nature and development of all. This is the movement of the stars, the cycle of the season, causing seeds to grow into plants, a force that drives change and what endures from within. And within the I Ching, all 8 trigrams have a place in the family. And so heaven is the father, and it's 3 yang lines stacked on top of each other. So the 3 yang solid lines, that's the father. So that's how you can remember that.
Again, it's the yang has always been that, right? So this is just falling right in line with the archetype of archetypes in a sense, the stacking on top and the heaven and the heaven. I could have easily thought heaven as a yin thing in a way, but heaven as what the land of God and God is the Father. It's just sort of that's the way to see it, right?
Well, and there's also, if you look at it from like the electromagnetic standpoint, then heaven and the yang is the electric force. It's the force that's going out in a straight line, whereas the yin is the feminine magnetic receptive force. It's
The
like you
earth
can see it
force
in,
or the earth
yeah,
force.
it's
Okay,
the
in that
earth force, it's
analogy.
the receiving. If you look at like a battery, you got the little plus sign nubby end, and that's
Yeah,
pushing out electricity, whereas the flat indented inside is the feminine, it's the yin, it's the magnetic receiving the energy. So heaven is the yang, pure masculine, electric kind of force, is that can help kind of balance it out and understand it. Or like the
well,
rays of the sun, the sun is shooting out rays and the earth is receiving it.
yeah, no, that's an easy way to actually see it. It's just it's funny to see that all of this stuff still grounds itself into a yin and a yang. We are a binary. Our chart is a binary. The universe is a binary. Might as well call it a biverse. Ra always did. I do whenever, it makes sense, unless I need to not confuse someone. Call it the biverse. Right. And then I have to call it the universe when I really am thinking biverse, but anyway, I still try and get away with it because it's what it is. And everything, the lights go on and off, up and down, boys and girls, you name it. We're a binary. And the
Yeah.
forces and the heaven force, the yang, this almost could be called initiation in a way, because this would be the heaven yang force that somehow or other spoke the word. And then some quarter later, through a little bit of gestation time, we then awaken into mind and starts our human experience. So this might be God's starting of the quarter, and 13 would be humanity, mankind's starting of the quarter, if you want to look at it that way. I mean, what do you think of that, Moni?
Yeah, I mean, even the idea of it is just like heaven, and on the other side is earth starts the quarter of civilization into the world and into form, whereas like heaven starts transformation and initiation. Like those are very yang kind of even
Yeah.
terms as quarters, whereas civilization and duality, those do have more of like a feminine yin kind of receptive vibe to it. And it's that beautiful complementary of opposites and that
Mm.
balance that we all exist in and creates our world. Like they're both necessary. They just have different parts to play, but they go so well together.
It's just so good. So yeah, this all makes sense. I actually like it. We can go move on.
Oh, good. Starting off, we're going to be looking at gate one, which is the creative and the gate of self expression. This is heaven over heaven. Creative force is the absolute power of heaven, moves the stars in their courses, and makes the seasons turn. A noble one finds this creative force within, as close as his own breath. It does not need to pause and rest, nor does he.
This creative self-expression of heaven over heaven means everything as it relates to the starting of things. If we give heaven to God as it relates to all of these examples and we see it, the Almighty, the Force, the Father that comes in and smashes the start of the creative process, the true start of it. Two is incredibly creative. Gate two, I'm referring to, all the way over on the other side, starting out civilization. But in reality, it's not the full creative, it's the receptive for the creative, which is still quite creative, don't get me wrong. But this is purely the yang creative. And what does that say about the whole quarter that starts it out? It says, I am going to be unique and I'm going to set up a foundation where when we get it all started over again, we will have not lost our uniqueness. This is the bookmark for it all. And this heaven over heaven designation and timing for it all is becomes the symbol that we get to see and clearly mark it here. So we'll never lose track. There's a constant signpost here. The creative begins here.
So continuing on to gate 43, this is breakthrough and the gate of insight. This is represented by lake over heaven. Lake above heaven is a cloud sharing the blessing of rain, always pure, never in contact with mud. A noble one's generosity, pure, inspired expression of her character, without ulterior motive. She gives and also knows what to stay away from.
There was a yang over yang. This becomes yin over yang, essentially, right?
Well, the top line is yin, but the bottom five line are yang. Lake is about abundance. It's like
Mm.
bountiful abundance. It's the koi pond with the lotus flower.
And the thing is, that pond is so filled with stuff, just like the breakthrough and the insight gate and the body graph, demanding that I be a bookend for gate one to explain the creative, to basically create the concepts that could lead to the explanation of the creative. And that's what this whole thing's doing. Another very yang force all the way around, smashing through, breaking through. I mean, the material version of Gate 43 and Line 3 guarantees that this thing will do anything and suffer any condemnation and stick with its thing in order to achieve that breakthrough and release that insight. And Gate 1 is an incredible foundation to Gate 43. A Yang force that needs to explain and basically come up with the concepts that will, the inner knowing and the rationale that will explain it and leads to the explanation. The explanation becomes what the lake is full of. The lake is full of the explanation in the hexagram.
I also really like if you actually look at the hexagram here down at the bottom five are solid yang lines, but the top line is actually a yin. And so it even looks like a breakthrough. Like it's just chipping into it. It was just all solid, and there's now a little breakthrough into it. And I really like that.
That's how it starts, man. That's how it starts.
Continuing on, we have gate 14, which is possession in great measure, and the gate of power skills. And this is fire over heaven. Stars move in accordance with natural law, inner awareness of creative reality and clarity in living. The greatness of the cosmos is that it works as it should. Her task is quite simple: allow it to be, remove obstacles, work with it. Hatred only wastes energy resisting reality. Spreading the good aligns with the natural order. Sun does not struggle to rise in the sky, it just rises. Noble one assents to what is and yields to heaven.
I know I've said this before, but the lilies in the field, they do not toil, right? They just
Yeah.
live and they bask in the sunshine. And every picture of them will be wonderful as long as they're left to be themselves. The fire over the heaven, the cool part about this is watching that yin line just sink down one. It's like we're dropping down, we're being swallowed down into the belly of this mutation, is what the hexagrams are unfolding to look like. And fire over heaven, yeah, that's inside. That's the inside fire. And the thing is, this is coming off of gate 14, this possession in great measure, the power skills to know the right timing to release the power that empowers the direction. And skilled interaction is part of the name in the book, the possibility for skilled interaction, essentially. And that skilled interaction is protecting that power such that it is released, because the release of power can only be great for gate 34 when its release is towards higher principles. So this whole little 4 section thing is always looking towards the higher principles for the release of the power. That's what it's looking for. And it's looking to have it be explained in a certain way, conceptualized, and to have it be its creative self in the first place. To me, the fire of gate 14 is right where it needs to be, right below the top yang line, burning away on the inside. That's how people know, oh, this thing's warm. This thing's got a motor that's running. This thing is must have possessions in great measures. And it does, because it brings the abundance of our movement. I mean, gate 2 is the monopole, and the nodes are so, closely linked. 14 is and it's the gas pedal for that.
I was looking up the lilies of the field verse.
Oh, is it a
Yeah,
verse?
yeah, it's in the Gospel of Luke. It's Luke chapter 12, verses 27 through 28. Consider the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not clothed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which is alive today and tomorrow, is thrown into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, you of little faith?
Have faith in the lilies in the field that do not toil. That's really sweet. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good verse.
And hatred does. It only wastes the energy. The hatred in here is the waste of your responsive energy and your responsive truth in the now. The sun does not struggle to rise. No, it does not. The response of 14 does not struggle to get out. It awaits its right timing, and in response, it is out. Her task is quiet and simple. Yes, it is. Please allow yourself to await the possession of power in great measure that leads to skilled interaction, that leads to the direction. This thing seems to be named appropriately. Fire over
Absolutely.
heaven.
Gate 34, which is the power of the great, and the gate of might. This is thunder over heaven. The action of thunder rests on underlying principles of heaven, acting with great vigor, not improvising and adapting. Such great energy needs a better guidance to avoid injury, follows ritual, acts in ways that observe the principles of creation, and follows their patterns. Not so much respecting the rules for their own sake as respecting what is known to work because it is in harmony with the nature of things.
In the whole idea of natural law, which was in the previous hexagram, again, we're entering the yin here. Now the top two are open, awaiting more to come in. This is now the pouring in of. At this point in time, you're pouring it in. It's not just a tiny little breakthrough, it's now substantial. Thunder over heaven's a perfect name for gate 34. It's as explosive as you get, essentially, as it relates to the release of power. And its whole thing again is the release of power is only great when its use is put towards higher principles. And the higher principle is surviving as yourself. Please, people, survive as yourselves, become yourselves, come in and get a reading and understand yourself and understand what you're not. That's the higher principle. And it says within humanity, as you do that, amongst all of mankind, you will have value and bring something important. And these things will be needed as the more you are yourself. And only you can know that as we show you how to get into the experiment and actually look and witness for yourself. Don't take my word for it. All you got to do is let me read your body graph for a little while and be like, oh my God, I see it too. That's the whole thing. This knowledge has to be passed from one to the other. In fact, this is the initiation of that process with even gate 11 that has the idea in the first place to say it out loud. 13 isn't the one with the idea to say it out loud. 13 is the recipient of that whole process all the way down through the solar plex in the throat, through the dome, back up through to the format channel of maturation, and then back up to 13 through 29 and 46. In case you didn't get all that, slow it down. It's there, and this is the what feeds into that process. So we need it. We need it.
Yeah, I really like this bottom line where it says not so much respecting the rules for their own sake as respecting what is known to work because it is in harmony with the nature of things. It's so easy to get idealistic on an idea and what we can change, and the world would be so much better if we can just change all these things about it. And I get it because it's idealistic, it's an utopian and all that kind of stuff. But if it's not actually in harmony with the nature of things, we're just pushing against reality. And
Frustrated responsiveness, the release of power as a bully, the bull in a china shop, the not self of 34 that releases power in order to gain advantage, to gain a lust for lucre, to gain some kind of thing that becomes seven-centered, barely cooperative, non-communal, and does not fill the spirit or meet up with humanity's purpose. The old way, we can call all of that. This power is great as its release is essentially witnessed and limited. Doesn't mean never get frustrated. This is thunder, dude. And thunder over heaven. It's not heaven over thunder. It's the thunder first and then the heaven, as you look from the top down. And so thunder booms. What to do? Boom. That's a response. Boom. And sometimes it's frustrated. And in that frustration, it will release that.
oh yeah,
So
and even just like 34 as this insane power, it is such a huge power. As someone who does not have gate 34 with an undefined sacral, like gate 34 is a powerhouse. It is a shocking thunder boom over the pure creative force of heaven. Like that absolutely makes sense.
its entrance on this plane came at a time when it was absolutely necessary that it met up with its first line description of the bully, the indiscriminate use of power in the face of any frustration. They needed that because they were in a time when there was still, 1,000 other species competing for life at the time. We were just one of many. We needed that to conquer this domain as we have. We needed that. This is a necessary, integral part of what it is to be human. And it's what I hear every great man say these days when they're talking about, yeah, I can do things if I need to, and I can do bad things, but I know I can also not. And that is in where is my real power. It's my choice to not, knowing I can,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
have to be powerful enough to protect yourself and defend
Yep.
yourself, or you're just going to be taken over, as well as your family and your home and your lands. You need to, as a man, be able to be strong and protect yourself, and then control that monster that could come out. Like that's
Right.
true. That's true
Right.
masculinity. That's true manhood.
And thank you, heaven, for being under the thunder. Receive the thunder. No thunder, boom. You will land in my comfortable grace. It sounds like there's a notion like that somewhere in one of the Proverbs. Land on me, my big booming thunder. I will comfort you in the blankets of grace in heaven. You're good. Basically, release yourself, just like a frustrated sacral response.
Continuing on to gate 9, which is the taming power of the small and the gate of detail. And this is wind over heaven. Wind moves above heaven, doesn't yet bring rain to earth, directed by the inner creative force of heaven, naturally moving with it. Inwardly unchanging principles. Outwardly, actions gradually take shape of those inner principles. Self cultivation that aligns you with the creative power concentrates on growing potential rather than bringing about results.
Yeah, I like this inwardly unchanging principles. So it's more sacral business. Of course, it has to be unchanging principles because whatever the response is at the time, that's the principle. And the action of this principle is to tame the large abundance of small into something that we can focus on and turn into a repetitive pattern as its brother across the way in gate 16, as its opposition on the wheel demands. This is a direct answer or beginning to what will become enthusiastically built upon, identified with as a pattern that is a solution. This is the taming power of the small to tame things into the small and create the thing that becomes the fruits of the solutions. This is that format. So the wind has to carry that. Dude, the small is everywhere. Pick up a dandelion after it's all dried out and blow on it. It's everywhere. Tame that. Someone tame that for me. Get every piece and tame. Well, you better have a gate 9 if you're resolved to say, whoa, and and let's say you needed them and you get your tweezers and you go get every piece. That is the taming power of the small because it can be done. And so if the sacral energy is there and I needed every one of these, and you go, so that's what it does very much that when I was studying, I was so thankful for my gate 9. It was sacrally responsive all the time. And each time it wanted to listen to the detail, it needed all the detail. It needs to start from the very beginning. It needs to have the thing that I can smush into that and smush into this and finally have it be something I can help people identify with. It's like a yearning responsiveness that it won't respond if it can't have any of those things. And maybe it will in frustration. It just will against itself potentially, or against other things that it wouldn't be the right timing for it. Just because it's generated doesn't mean it's not still subject to the timing of the rhythm of the movement of us all. Wind over heaven. I like it. Carries it all.
Gate 5, which is waiting in the gate of fixed rhythms. This is water over heaven. A noble one doesn't hover anxiously, watching over the skies. Sureness and constancy in his heart and fluidity in his actions. He thrives in the present moment. Feasting when you can't cultivate your field shows confidence. It keeps you rested and prepared for the moment when you can act, revitalizing your relationship with what provides for you.
Yeah, and the confidence is that the pattern is being laid down. It's being laid down in a fundamental Earth-like way because this pattern has been there since the primordial soup from which supposedly life certainly crawled up onto the rocks out of the slime. I don't know how that all worked, but whatever. I know some of that happened because there was all that stuff long ago. But this is sort of that, and the water creates not only this fertile thing when it's moving, but its pattern becomes consistent and everything moves with it. Everything moves with the water a great deal, that which is in and around the water, just like the 15 and the 5 in your body graph create a magnetism that doubles up your aura. It'll double up with just the gate 15, but when you connect them, you've got a strong double wide aura and something called actual magnetism, like what the G center sort of does with its magnetic monopole. This is the magnetism to pull to the pattern, the waiting part where it recognizes, I hear it written all through this, get rid of the anxiety, watching the skies, do whatever you want. Don't have to watch any of that because waiting all by itself is a fixed pattern aspect of not only enlightenment, but it's an aspect of our own intelligence and growth. It's waiting as an aspect of awareness. I'm waiting. What are you doing? I'm aware. That's what I'm doing. What do you mean you're aware? I'm responding to you, aren't I? You know, I'm aware. Something happens, the responder responds. Is again powerful sacral stuff.
Next up, we have gate 26, which is the taming power of the great and the gate of the egoist. This is mountain over heaven. Heaven, the creative force, dwells at the center of what it creates. The present contains the principle and energy that shape it. All this is available in the store of memory and written words. A noble one goes into this mountain cave of treasures to read and absorb, cultivating his own quality of character and personal power.
Yeah, and there is great personal power when this gate is itself. The taming power of the great, the egoist, is to basically tame his own power a certain way through the manipulation of memory, which, by the way, the manipulation of memory is let me figure out how best to say this. There's nothing wrong with that. That's like what it's supposed to do. In a not self world, it can turn ugly, obviously. Let me figure out how to make this person buy this thing for too much. That can happen here too. But it's got a great wisdom. I think the first line of this is something about a bird in the hand. It's
It's worth
something
two in
wicked.
the bush.
It's something like that. It's wicked practical, like gate 32. That one that is conservative. Even gate 44 is pretty. This whole stream is conservative in its nature. Maybe 54, not so much. It's got that omega line in it. It just wants to move up the ladder like a little generator. But the rest of it is very conservative. Certainly the awareness, and this one is too, because its foundation is something about a bird in the hand. Is that what it is?
Yeah, so it's line one, a bird in the hand. The ability to enjoy the dreams engendered by accomplishment in order to avoid the delusion of unlikely potential. The ego which transcends limitation through dreaming. And then the detriment is accomplishment as a license for foolhardy risk taking, the refusal of the ego to be satisfied.
Right. The insatiability of this thing going into its personal expectations and what it thinks it should have. And I, me, mine will suddenly come out of this. Why not? It's also the home of the killer T cell. So it can, is the thing. It can. But the higher principle will speak to the tribe and will speak to the preservation and the existence and the continuity of the tribe, and it will assuage 44's fears of extinction and the past and stuff of that, and it will give great hope to why we do the work. All of that is in here. When you look at the bird in the hand as a conservative thing, the egoist, the taming power of the great, it's just like great gate 34 in a way. Its great power is only great when it's used for higher purposes. When it talks to and receives the wisdom of the higher self. I mean, two things to put into the higher self are movement towards beauty and communion. If you always allow that whatever I'm doing, whatever it is, I woke up. Am I a little sad? Yeah, the movement towards beauty communion maybe needs a little sprucing up for you. You have a cup of coffee, suddenly the movement towards beauty and communion feels possible, and that's something we're constantly moving towards. So the taming power of the great helps the great forces stay tamed to help the movement, essentially. And this is again, it's all couched in. This is the receiving part of the yang energy from the first four. So this sounds very yangy. It is very yang. It's got a yang trigram. I get it, but this is the yin part of that more yin sort of representation of don't worry, I'm catching you, and this is important. And I've got a lot of awareness pointing at me, letting me know it's important. 34, if it's not connected to 57, doesn't have any awareness. 14 has no awareness pointing at it. 43 has no awareness pointing at it. Neither does 1. Well, 43 does. 43 is the awareness, but 1 doesn't. Gate 1 doesn't. So this is a lot of awareness, moving through, pointing at this gate to say the taming must meet the higher principles, just like it must for 34. And my release of power as the egoist can affect the other. I will limit and use my great power of memory to bend and tame that great message as well to fit with what's needed for the love of my tribe. That's its higher principle. Not to be a liar, which it can be. Everyone knows that the name of this gate also has a keynote called the trickster. It's not the gate's fault. It's the not self of the person's fault. Oh, mountains. Tell me about mountains. Remember, Moni, in the pre-show
Mountains is
before we went on?
stillness. The mountain is still. It is a limit where you must stop. Mountain brings each cycle to an end, defining a space where we can recognize, assimilate, and complete our experience.
Because where you must make things stop. So the taming power is the cycles. The taming power at this point, with coming into mutation and all the cycles of duality, the cycles of civilization, of initiation, they're all swirling in here. And this great taming power has to help put a stop to all of that in a way, like bring it in to tame it.
Mountain creates a personal still center amid change where we can retreat for perspective and a firm foundation for new growth. Well grounded, confident, and of independent spirit. He is still and he knows. The pivot between cycles. It's the shift between the one and the other.
Oh, just what I was saying. It's receiving the cycles. I mean, that's what I was pointing out. And so, yeah, that whole pivot point, and that you have to have the taming power of the great. This is like the guy that reaches his hands out and is able to grab it all. The taming power of the great must basically wrangle and use ego willpower. The great power of frustration out of 34 would not be finessed enough to work here. This is now needed and for all of mankind. The great power of 34 in the first 4 hexagrams was needed for the individual to stay unique and empower the moments where now 26 picks that up, because 26 about to basically tame it all so that gate 11 doesn't have to. It's got another job to do. This has got to deliver a package. In fact, it's in the perfect space. 26 has to deliver a tamed package, which it always does. It delivers as a transmitter the final message to the tribe. It's got to deliver it in a cohesive way so that 11's like, okay, thank you. I got the memo. Here's the idea. And that's what's happening here. So this is the fertile ground for idea making. And this one is Prometheus.
This isn't a Prometheus, yeah.
So Prometheus is the great giver of answers.
Well, yep, the story of Prometheus is like giving that spark of creation to the humans. That's like intelligence and giving the knowledge to the humans and like that mythology.
Whoa, that fits perfect. We think the spark actually comes from the yang part of the creativity, and I guess this is a binary spark. There's 2 parts to the spark. Just like we can split an atom, we can split a spark. They split photons to get spooky action at a distance. It's a splitting of a photon. That spark is both sides of this. Absolutely.
Our final gate, we are going to talk about gate 11, which is peace and the gate of ideas. This is earth over heaven. Creative force flows through the earth. Potential joins with the space for growth. Everything is possible. Blessed with flow, wholly infests, bringing it to fruition in the human realm. Weaves the powers of inspiration and realization together into a synergistic context for creative work. To bring out its full potential, work actively to bring all people, energies, and areas of life into harmony inside its embrace.
Please, people, let's share and get together and tell the story around a fire, essentially. This is a storyteller. This is the beginning of it. And the fact that they tame and wrangle confusion and the pressures to have the inspiration in the first place is what drives the realization. It's what quells the sense of oppression over too muchness. And it's what puts into form the idea that is worth telling a story about in order to get it across. So please let my ideas see the light of day. Please let me bring light onto this plane during this darkness of winter and this quarter of mutation, where the stories say things wither, but my idea wither not. And if it need wither a little bit, it wither as a seed that gives its life all over again to come back to life again on gate 13, the coming of, spring and the growing seasons and what we do. This is the type of seed that either stays perennial and is always alive and evergreen. Some trees are evergreen the whole time. That's this as a potential, or it's the seed itself. And its idea is a total living package in a seed that willingly the seed gives itself, it bursts itself dead in order to regrow again. And that idea comes back through gate 13, essentially, as the collective wisdom of it all. Same circuitry, same sub-circuitry, right? The sensing circuit, this abstraction, and the ideas that become earth over heaven say, guess what? Ideas aren't fanciful wind. They're not rich, fertile lakes, which they can be, but they embrace it all. They're earth. Earth has wind, earth has fire, earth's got dirt, rocks, trees, and everything else. And earth has earth, and earth has us. And earth over heaven is again heaven saying, don't worry, earth, don't worry, peace and ideas. You hang out over me. I've got you in a nice warm embrace as you land under the blankets of heaven's grace. The gate of ideas must arise and it must bring its light. And what was it empowered by in the first 4 hexagrams in Hades? Hades threw the light forward, and this next 4 hexagrams, Prometheus captured it. And basically, this is the final broadcasting of it, essentially, because by the time it comes to gate 56 at the bottom, everyone is hearing about it. This is now being told and made manifest. And where's gate 56? It's in the quarter of civilization, isn't it? There you have it. This gate has already gone by in the wheel. So 11 is not standing there alone. The gate already happened. This is the moment where that channel gets created. Ponder it that way. The channel of the storyteller is waiting as a potential, as a potential, as a potential until you get into mutation. It gets struck with uniqueness and yang energy that guarantees inspiration beyond limitation. It's empowered, it's moved upward, literally into a direction, and then it's powered through and it's tamed and it's detailed, and finally it's let out. This is that. It's let out because 11 strikes and gate 1 of 11. I have no idea what gate 1 of 11 is, but something tells me line 1 of 11, but something tells me it's damn important because it sets up the foundation for peace. This is going to be some kind of waiting that the ideas be in the right timing and they be perfect so that they flow naturally. Something like that.
Line 1, attunement. The serendipity of being in the right place at the right time.
That's what I said, man.
I
I
know.
love it.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
love it. Cool. So there it is. And so now we know that this thing's projected, it's waiting in its projectorness, its pristine grace is to sit there, that which comes as it waits as an active state of awareness, which was already given just 2 hexagrams ago in gate 5. The pattern is set, and now it's just waiting. What it's saying is, oh, ye of little faith, if I don't wait, just like the proverb of the lilies in the field, ye ending in ye of little faith. Ideas is like, I got all the faith. My light is waiting to come out. I resonate to the idea of hope. So it'll be here. And in that, it just attracts it. And then it shows up. There's no shortage of stuff to finally show up when you wait. Go fishing and tell me it works any other way. Peace is fishing for us. But it's a dutiful fisherman. It's sitting there day after day, always awaiting. But don't forget, when this rings, gate 12 has already done so on the other side to empower this into manifestation. So that's waiting there as an aspect of this gate in opposition to turn it into the most intense of articulations through gate 12. It's not 23, it's not 1, it's not even 16 or 20 that is the most tense. It's gate 12. It's individual, unique, personal, and the social channel of the individual that is getting together with the other. So it's wicked intense and it's sharp as needed, and it can rigorously withdraw. So gate 11 is the piece that makes that run smooth. Finally, all these processes from civilization can start to run smooth, not just 56, but gate 12 too, as well. Bringing the light. Yay. I love the next gate in line, what it moves into, so it only makes sense.
It goes into
Oh,
gate 10,
mm-hmm.
which is your personality sun.
Yep, mine too.
So that concludes our Gates of the Heaven Trigram. So that was really fun continuing that series.
Mm. Yeah, that was a lot. A lot comes out there. This is a little bit of a confusing time, right? It didn't quite flow in a certain way, like the whole as duality was unfolding. I was excited. It's like, look at this nice, easy Harlequin romance I'm reading. I can tell where the ending's going. And it did. It sort of went there, and now we smash into mutation. And as always, the collective that's reading in the tribe, they run into the individual, the uniqueness too much, too fast. Yeah, it's a little bit of a smashing into, and that's what I felt like tonight. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's like yang over yang. It's like it
Right,
is.
what do I do with that? Guys are gross. Girls are so much prettier. What do I do with this? That type of thing.
That's good. That was really fun. It's always enjoyable to go through the gates in a different kind of way. And like, I always learn so much.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Please book an appointment. It's the greatest thing you can do for yourself. It is amongst the greatest gifts you will ever really give yourself or a loved one. Christmas season's coming up.
So if you'd like to book a reading with either Danny or myself, check out this QR code link above. We also have it down in the description box below, and you can use code AWAKEN for an extra 10% off to let you save a little bit, and you can hang out and
Mhm.
talk with us, and we can have a real fun time. And if you would like to donate to our show, if you get a lot out of our little teachings and our all we love to show you guys and share with you guys, feel free to click the QR code above to donate. We also have the QR code down below for that as well.
I can't wait to see what happens next, Moni. This is perfect.
Absolutely. So, thank you to everyone who is watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, hanging out, asking questions. We love having you. Thank you for helping us get to 1,000 subscribers. That was a big goal
Hmm.
for us. So, that's really fun. So, thank you. And we will catch you next time.
In the nick of time, 1K. Yep.
I know, right under the wire for the episode. So, it was super fun.